Let's welcome back to the show former Congressman and Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz. It's great to have you back on. Okay, lawyer Mark Elias, he's a top player in the botched Trump-Russia probe. He's the guy who arranged the funding for the anti-Trump Steele dossier, the opposition research that went after Trump with botched information. He's left the Perkins Coie law firm to create his own independent firm. Jonathan Turley says this is telling. He's a legal eagle. He says this is ahead of the Durham report, that this guy's leaving. What do you say about it?
Well, Mark Elias has taken on a lot of different roles. He's got tens of millions of dollars in billings. He represented the Democratic Party. He represented Hillary Clinton. He is really the fixer for the Democratic side of the aisle. The way you get around a lot of the disclosure laws is to pay a law firm. The law firm then goes and does some of the dirty work. And so the question here is, was that money, the $10+ million that went to Perkins Coie that Mark Elias was directing, did that then go to fund this bogus document that then created the impetus of the FBI to do what it did to go after Donald Trump? And it seems like it was a setup, and that's the big question. And so now that you have Mark Elias leaving Perkins Coie, there's some that are speculating the reason that he's leaving is they know there's some bad things happening. And he's taking, I think it's something like 17 attorneys out of Perkins Coie to form his own legal firm. And that may be a foreshadowing that this report is right on our doorstep.
Yeah, the reports coming in that John Durham is maybe taking criminal charges to a grand jury in the botched Trump-Russia probe. Reports coming in that Mark Elias was the middleman. He was the guy who arranged the Democrat funding that went through his law firm to Fusion GPS to the anti-Trump opposition research that the DOJ watchdog said was totally flawed, embellished, filled with speculation. You're saying this fact, him as the middleman, was hidden, was not revealed in federal election filings. Is that a problem?
Well, I'm saying that he was actually fairly public out there, but the way you get around a lot of these individual expenditures is you have to itemize how you're expending money on a political campaign. But if you pour, as they did in the Hillary Clinton campaign, $10+ million into a law firm, then the law firm goes out and does all this stuff, then there is no disclosure. I'm saying that people on both sides of the aisle do that. It is the way that they get around this. But the question, I think, for federal law enforcement is, did they use this money to plant a story that therefore could be turned around and be the impetus for a probe into Donald Trump? If it's fiction, if they made it up, if they provided the FBI bogus information, stuff that they knew was a lie, that they fabricated, and it was paid for to do such, then you're breaking some federal laws. That's the big question.
Yeah, it's knowingly committing perjury using false information planted inside the Justice Department and the FBI to get powerful FISA wiretaps meant for terrorists to go after citizens on the Trump campaign. This could be about potential perjury, right? Before the FISA court.
Exactly, a whole bunch of things. You would think that the court would stand up for itself. Thus far, they haven't. And you also have Director Comey and others who signed these FISA warrants. And at the very top of it is John Ratcliffe, the former director of national intelligence, and somebody who was on the Intel Committee has said, at the very top of this application, it says verified. But then you have people like James Comey and others saying, no, I actually didn't verify it. Well, you would think that there would be some legal consequences to that, at least losing your law license or something along the way, if not prosecution. But thus far, the Department of Justice is fairly impotent in terms of actually prosecuting one of their own. They just won't go there.
And misleading Congress. Okay, Jason Chaffetz, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining.